Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Stu. Stu is from Australia, but he lives in Berlin, in Germany. So, let's see what Stu has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hi there.
Hello Stu, how are you?
I'm good.
How's your day been so far?
Up and down, to be honest, but at the moment it's ending well.
Great. It's very cold right now. I think you are based in Berlin, aren't you?
I am, yes, in Berlin. It's very cold here. Where are you?
London.
Okay, probably cold there as well.
Yeah, it's been very cold for the last week, and it was snowing as well. So it's been cool. So Stu, tell me where you're from.
Are we starting now?
Yeah, you can start now.
I'm from a small city in Australia called Ballarat, which is near Melbourne.
Okay. And why the move from Australia to Germany?
I moved here to study an international master's in social work as a human rights profession, which is a 2 masters. My main interest is working with gay men in the gay community, specifically with minority stress and drug addiction. But doing this master's is going to help me learn a whole lot more about human rights.
I see. And how long you've been in Berlin so far?
Nearly 5 months.
Okay, so you're going to still have a few months to go before moving back to Australia.
I'm not planning to go back to Australia. I want to get a bridging visa and find work here.
I see. Amazing. And what do you like the most about Berlin so far?
Look, it's a very big culture shift to Australia. I mean, I like the gay community, the queer community here. I like it when it snows because I don't experience that a lot in Australia. I think there's a lot more opportunity here for me to find a relationship. I'm sort of in a relationship at the moment and with someone, and that was sort of one of the reasons I also wanted to move here. I kind of felt like the dating pool was a little small in Australia. I like the history of Berlin as well. I think it's an interesting city.
I see. Okay, so before we start the interview, tell me a little bit about your journey so far as a chemsex counseling, chemsex addiction therapist. Tell me a little bit about it. How is everything started?
Yeah, so I was having my own problem with drug addiction 20 years ago in Australia with chemsex, using crystal meth and GHB and all the associated problematic behavior with sex and stuff. It took me 2 or 3 years to get sober. I had to go through drug rehab twice. And at that time I was a school teacher, but when I was in rehab, I became very interested in the therapists in the rehab. And when I left there, I decided I wanted to change careers and become a psychotherapist as well. So I studied a graduate diploma in counselling, and then I did a master's in Gestalt psychotherapy, and then I did a certificate in sex addiction. And I did quite a lot of different courses, but I opened my own private practice, mainly working with gay men in 2008. And then I just started working in drug rehabs. I think overall I've worked in 9 or 10 different drug rehabs. And the last 2, I was the program director and the manager. One of those was in Thailand and was LGBTIQ specific, and the other one was a mainstream rehab near Melbourne.
See, and in your opinion, do you start this journey because of your events in life in the past connected with the drugs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think going through that experience of learning how to become unaddicted to the drugs and the behavior was one of the critical moments in my life. And I think what happened at the time, I didn't know many other gay men who were struggling with it because it was sort of before it became very big in Europe and England and Australia. It was already a problem in the US. But I thought, wow, I have a lived experience of chemsex and addiction. And I have learned how to get sober. And, I feel that I could play an important role in helping others achieve sobriety. So that's what led me to wanting to do that.
Amazing. All right, so through the game, I'm going to explore more a little bit about your career, about yourself, and also about your point of views.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
For sure.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Okay, full of random fun questions. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Stu from Australia/Berlin. So through the game, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? All very friendly. Right, first question for you is, tell us about your first kiss and your first love.
Well, my first kiss was with a girl when I was in high school, and I was super nervous, and I think it was only a kiss on the cheek. Yeah, it was a kiss on the cheek, I'm pretty sure. But it seemed pretty monumental at the moment. It's weird, I haven't thought about that for a long, long time. Yeah, I guess that was the beginning of my journey with falling in love with kissing, because kissing is my favorite thing I love to do when I'm, with someone that I care about. But I guess more importantly, my first kiss with a man. That's interesting. I don't know if I can even remember that. I remember there was the first couple of times that I dated men, I didn't kiss them because I had so much internalized homophobia on board that I really struggled to kiss them, even though I probably had sex with them. I don't remember kissing them. But then I started going out with a guy that I loved. It was a short relationship, but I was very into this guy, and I'm pretty sure I must have kissed him, but I don't remember the first kiss.
And tell me how was growing up in a small town in Australia as a gay boy?
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, I feel quite fortunate because I grew up on a farm, in the outback, and I was riding horses, and we had loads of sheepdogs and stuff, and it was always super hot. And so my memories are very beautiful, very Australian memories growing up there. But I actually didn't realize I was gay until I was 19. So I can't really tell you what it was like growing up as a gay boy, because, I mean, I was aware, that I would sometimes see pictures of myself or feel a little bit effeminate in, like, if I saw a photograph of myself, and that used to kind of, I guess it used to upset me a little bit because it was a very masculine environment I was growing up. My dad was a footballer and a farmer, and it was in a very small town. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I was aware that I was different, but all that all started to happen more when I got to 19 and actually realized I was gay.
All right. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Stu, next question for you is, what is the scary thing that happened to you?
Wow. It's funny, so many thoughts are going through my head. Like, probably, it's strange, but the first thing that came into my head was I was on a school camp when I was 15 years old, and we were in the bush and very far from anywhere, and there were no mobile phones back in the 80s. And I walked away from the camp where all the other students were, and I got lost. And I couldn't find them again. And I spent the night freezing cold, like sleeping like near under a rock, and I was smoking cigarettes at the time. So amazingly, I had a cigarette lighter on me, and I remember making a bit of a fire. I was able to get a fire started, but it went out, and it was a very scary night because I didn't know if I was going to die. I didn't know if I was going to find the other people again. And amazingly, in the morning, I just went looking and fortunately found my way back. But I remember being very, very scared in that experience.
Did you like school?
I remember liking school when I was 14, 15, but there were times at school where I got bullied a bit and struggled a little bit. I got bullied for being effeminate and being called like gay names and stuff like that. Those parts were actually quite hard, but I was quite, I was an actor and I performed in a lot of productions, and that was really fun. And I had a small group of friends and we were all very close. And in the end, I did very well in terms of my academic achievements at school. So like overall, it was, I would say, a positive experience.
I see. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me the moment when you had the contact with chemsex that you went like, okay, that's something nice. And tell me when was the moment that you said, okay, it's enough. I need help.
Look, I was spending a lot of time in New York and Los Angeles around this time where I was introduced to chemsex. And it felt like when it was good, it felt very exciting to combine sex and these drugs together. I felt very powerful and very sexual and very attractive. And, you know, like that whole combination was very euphoric. And there were times where I really, really enjoyed it. But where it became a problem was when I got into a relationship with a guy, and it was very hard for me to manage my feelings and emotions. And I noticed that I started to use drugs and engage in chemsex to distance myself from my feelings. And eventually I was doing drugs on, you know, weeknights rather than weekends. And I was getting drug-induced psychosis. And, you know, there were lots of quite bad things that started to happen. And probably if I had to choose one moment, it was when I was in New York, because I used to keep a diary. And I remember in the diary, every day I would say, I need to stop doing this. I need to get it under control. Otherwise, I'm going to get HIV. Otherwise, I'm going to die. Because people were dying around me from GHB overdoses and things. And it was reading back through the pages of my journal, seeing every day start with the same words. I've got to change this. I've got to change this. And feeling powerless to change it at the same time.
See. And how long was this whole journey since you had the first contact with, let's say, chemsex until the end when you stopped?
So the beginning would have been 1997, and when it stopped was 2004. So it was about a 7-year journey.
I see. Okay. Next question for you is, what makes you most uncomfortable about yourself?
My attachment style. I'm anxiously attached in terms of attachment theory. And, you know, for example, at the moment in the relationship I'm in, it brings up a lot of problems for me. And I see it as a bit of a handicap. And I was just talking to my boyfriend on the phone about it a moment ago. And it's just, it feels like a curse, you know, to be that way in relationships. And I wish I wasn't, but all I can do is work with it and try and be better.
Explain a little bit more about this feeling, Stu. What comes from? What makes you feel when you tell me something about it?
Well, attachment theory says that the way that we're parented gives us a particular attachment style.
I see.
And so, like, some people are avoidant, more aloof, they're more shut down, they don't talk about their feelings. And anxiously attached people have a lot of anxiety in their relationships and feel very uncomfortable and never feel secure. So that's how I feel. Yeah.
I see. Saying that, what's the best part of being yourself and the most challenging one?
The best part of being myself is when I am fully confident and I know that I'm good at what I do, and I'm, for example, working in a drug rehab or working with someone in counselling and they're getting results. That's when I feel the best parts of myself.
Let me ask something. You said that through your career, working with addiction, people trying to recover from chemsex or drugs. Tell me one of episodes, someone that you go like, wow, I'm so proud that I've been working with this person because now this person is in a better place. There was like a moment in your career that you are very proud of the work that you do, if you can share.
I have a lot of these moments actually, but two that stand. I'm going to tell you two. One was a guy I was working with in a prison. I worked in a prison about 7 years ago, and we only did a few sessions together. And then I went to work in Thailand. And then when I came back, he contacted me. He was out of prison, and he wanted to continue working with me, and we did. But then he relapsed on drugs. And then his brother called me and said, can you please help him get into your rehab? And I did. I got him into the rehab, and he went through the program. And as of today, he's over 2 years sober. He's got a construction company. He just went to Nepal to climb to base camp. His whole life is just blossoming, and it's awesome. The second one is a girl that started coming to our Crystal Meth Anonymous meetings. And when she first came there, she was intravenously using crystal meth, and she was very overweight. And I sort of worked with her and stayed in contact with her for a long time. And she eventually got 1 year sober about a year ago, and she's a nurse. And so there came this point when I was working in the rehab where I thought she would be amazing to get in as our nurse. And so she applied for the job and she got it. And now she is the nurse in the rehab with all this lived experience of being a crystal meth addict. But now she is the nurse to the people in the rehab. And that is one of my favorite stories as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ready for another one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next question. Good dancer you are, I can see.
Thank you.
Next question is, if you were to raise a child, what are the most important things would you like them to learn?
Well, I think that the most important things you have to give to a child are time, attention, direction, affirmation, praise, respectful limit setting. And the thing that I would like them to learn is that they are lovable, and that they are powerful, and to be confident. And I would want them to have a really healthy, secure attachment style, and to know no matter what, they are beautiful and lovable.
Wow, good one. Next question. Before the next one, tell me what you like the most about your job. What's the most joy of it that you wake up every day, go like, wow, I'm doing something good for the world. And also, of course, there's always a challenging part, what that would be.
The most rewarding part is the successes. And like I have a note in my phone where anyone who sends me gratitude for me having worked with them or worked with their son or daughter, I put that note into my phone. And, when I read them, that's what makes me feel good, is that I've saved someone's life or I've changed someone's life for the better. That always makes my job rewarding. And the hardest part is probably working with people who don't change, maybe the opposite, or feeling as though I'm helpless to help them, or that there's something I'm doing that's not helping them. Yeah, I would say that's it. Feeling helpless to help someone.
See, okay. Next question is, do you consider yourself to be a spiritual person, and how?
Yes, I think I'm a very spiritual person. I mean, I'm a member of a 12-step program, and 12-step programs are very spiritually based. And even before I got sober, I was reading books about spirituality. Coincidentally, you know, I was into Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra, and also Marianne Williamson. And my core spiritual belief is the Course of Miracles. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. But when I was going through addiction and I was in rehab, I would read books like The Tao of Psychology and the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, and another book called In the Meantime. All of these are very spiritual-based books, and I do believe in a higher power. I'm not religious, and I do pray to my higher power regularly every day. And I write a gratitude list every morning and send it to 4 people, and I get theirs in return. In those ways, I see myself as spiritual.
I see. Do you believe that being spiritual for sure helped your journey as a sober person?
100%. I sometimes think it's the number one reason how I got sober. I did a lot of praying, and I followed a lot of direction from other people who use spirituality to get sober. And I really do believe this higher power did help me to get sober.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions in one. The first one is, knowing the person you are today, you know, the place you are today, if you could erase that period of your life connected with drugs, would you keep it or would you take out of your life? And the second part of this question, the second part of the question is, define this period of your life, this challenge period of your life, in one positive word or one positive fact that you learned through that journey.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I would change it, because that part of my life created a career for me when I was very lost in terms of having a career. So in a strange way, I have crystal meth and GHB and chemsex to thank for the great career that I've had over the last 16 years. But also, not only that, but the fact that it's allowed me to help a lot of other people as well. And if I had to choose one word to encompass or to symbolize my journey, it would be probably some word like overcoming or winning, something like that.
See, right. Next one. Let's do it. Tell me something. Tell me before the next one, what was the most challenging part adapting yourself in Germany, and what do you miss the most about Australia?
Look, by far the most challenging thing about going to Berlin is the bureaucracy, the paperwork, and everything here feels like it's 1994, you know. Everything is I give you an example. Like, I applied for my visa about 5 months ago, and it's taken so long for them to process it. And even though I've been to immigration and signed everything, they said you can't leave the country until you have the paper document of your visa. Still hasn't arrived. I still can't leave Germany yet.
Wow. And what do you miss the most about Australia?
Oh, gosh. I love the lack of, not the lack of bureaucracy. Everything just seems easier in Australia compared to here. I miss, like, here when you go into a supermarket or a bank, there is one teller serving 15 people and you have to wait forever. In Australia, they have like 6 tellers. So, I mean, it's always very fast, so you can get things done very quickly. I would also say I probably miss the weather. I'm enjoying the snow, but today the weather was so cold here, it was not good. It wasn't enjoyable at all. But I miss the sunshine and the weather. And I definitely miss Australian breakfasts. We do breakfasts in cafes and restaurants, the best in the world.
Wow. Actually, you say about those, bureaucracy of papers. I have a friend, a German friend who lives in Hamburg, and he told me the same as well. For some reason, he said, William, here in Germany, you have no idea how things can get very slow. And, it's, and I had someone as well, someone on the show, and he said the same thing as well, that it feels like decades ago, like regarding that for some reason.
Totally.
3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Next question is, what did you think was the most challenging part of being a kid?
I think probably not having my father's support and his time, attention, direction, and emotional care. I know that's a bit heavy, but I think things would have turned out differently for me if I had had that.
But he wasn't physically, or he wasn't there at all?
He was there physically. He wasn't there emotionally, or yeah.
I see. And are you close to your mom?
Yeah, I'm very close to my mum. I love her dearly. Yeah.
Sweet. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question is to tell me, in your opinion, why, mostly gay people, why they get, let's say, I wouldn't say trapped, but why they start when they adventure themselves on chemsex? It's something about being gay, or it's something, what is in your opinion, there's this direction?
I think it's a combination of different things. I think that gay people or queer people have experienced a lot of minority stress, being marginalized, being like biphobia, transphobia, homophobia, family rejection, coming out fears. So many things have had an impact on self-esteem that it has. When people find the gay scene, where there is a lot of drugs, and they get introduced to it, it gives them a relief from a lot of those negative experiences. And some people are able to try the drugs and, put them down again and without too much trouble. But when people, I think, have a lot of trauma or a lot of negative experiences in their background, finding those drugs and finding the joy and the peace and the dance floor and the sex and everything is quite an aphrodisiac that they keep going back to.
Do you think that the chemsex has been increased, or do you think it's kind of under control, or is less than ever?
You mean everywhere?
I mean, in your let's say in Europe, like, you've been Germany, what do you think?
Look, I actually ask this question everywhere I go, in Australia, in New York, in LA, here. Everyone tells me they think it's getting worse. I think it probably is worse because, because it's more available now. 20 years ago, it wasn't as accessible. And I think, but what I think is happening is I think there's a lot more support and help from LGBTIQ organizations. People have a lot more experience with knowing how to deal with it. For example, myself and another colleague are starting an English-speaking support group for chemsex in January here. And there's a lot more resources that people can access to deal with it. So, in some ways, it's a little bit like asking, is cancer getting any less? Cancer's probably not getting any less. But the ways of helping people with cancer is getting better. So it's a bit similar, I think.
Do you think that people nowadays, they are more aware of the consequences of what is about, what we can get involved, what, the danger of being involved in that?
I think there's a lot more awareness being provided by LGBTIQ organizations, and there is a lot more of that. But I think when people are young and gay and new on the scene, they think things like that won't happen to me, or they have friends who are not having negative experiences. So they go, it's not happening for them, so it may not happen for me. So I think there's a lot of rationalizing people telling themselves that I'll be okay, when it's a bit of a game of Russian roulette. You don't know who's going to go through a phase with it and then leave it alone, and who's going to get worse and worse and more addicted.
I see. All right. Next question is, what is something you wish you could do every single day?
I wish I could experience the relationship with my boyfriend every day without anxiety.
Wow, that's a beautiful answer. Wow. Do you see some work in progress, or do you think that it's kind of going in the right direction?
This guy I'm going out with is very understanding, and he's a great communicator. And, when I spoke to him tonight on the phone, I got really emotional, like I am now, because, I do have hope and a feeling that, if anyone can help me be in a healthy relationship, that it could be him. So I think, and I am learning a lot. I'm reading a lot. I do a lot of therapy. I do think I'm getting better and better all the time, but it also depends on the partner I'm with.
Oh, beautiful. I can see him smiling right now watching this interview. Ready for the last one?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last questions too, people watch the interview right now. Maybe they are struggling with chemsex, or maybe they're looking for help, or maybe they are a bit lost. They don't know what's going on. What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
I think talk to your friends, reach out for help, get therapy if you can. Don't keep it bottled up inside. At least think of one person who loves and cares about you and is willing to support and help you no matter what.
Right. Last question for you is, what makes you the saddest?
What, the saddest? Oh my God. Well, right now it's my ex-boyfriend who's from Venezuela, and he's here in Berlin. He doesn't have health care. He is living in a housing situation that is absolutely awful. His mother died when he was 14, and his dad, rejected him and his brother, and he feels very alone in the world. And I was sitting with him tonight, and he was crying and really sad, and I felt really sad as well, because I feel hopeless to help him, and I try to help him as much as I can. And I just wish things were different for him. Yeah.
Sorry to hear this, and I guess that I understand your point. Sometimes it hurts the most when you're not able to help someone, a dear person, that's not like up to us. Our hands kind of trapped somehow. Do you know what I mean? But I'm sure he appreciates just the fact that you gave him some, a company. You're there for him, and also, as I can see, you're emotional about as well. It's dearly and it's genuine. And I think even though the relationship is not there anymore, but even though this beautiful bond that you both have, I think that's what's more beautiful. And again, I'm sure things gonna get better. The life roller coasters goes up and down, and just the fact that I can see that he's not alone. Just having someone like you around him and support him, or just talking. I think it's already a good help for sure. And thanks for sharing. Thanks for being so open. So I didn't want to get emotional, but again, you're just being yourself and just sharing your truly self. And I think people appreciate that as well. Just sending him my positive vibe, and I just hope that sometime soon things gonna get better, and you can send me a message, William, he's in a better place now. I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. It's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game.
Money.
Green.
Family.
Mum.
Ooh. How about life?
Joy and pain.
Sex?
Ooh. My boyfriend.
I thought you'd say joy and pain. I'm joking.
True.
One word for love.
Love.
Yeah.
Oh God. Happily ever after.
One word for politics.
Politics. Boring.
Religion.
Spirituality.
How about fear?
Anxiety.
Friendship?
Doug and Macca.
Back in Australia or in Berlin?
They're in Australia.
Okay. Desire?
Simon.
Regrets?
Oh God. Oh God. That I can't think of one for this. Mum.
Okay. Success?
Me.
Ooh. Wish?
Love.
How about happiness? One word.
Peace.
One word for Berlin.
Crazy.
One word for Australia.
Freedom.
One word for chemsex addiction therapist.
Heroes.
And the last one now, chemsex, one word.
Journey.
Okay. Let's pretend I'm going to meet the lovely guy who made you emotional in the interview, and I would ask him, tell me the most beautiful thing about Stu, what he would say. And also at the same time, I would ask him, tell me something that he could improve on, what he would say.
He would say I need to improve trusting. And the thing that he would say that he likes about me is, oh, this is hard. My heart. I would hope that he would say that.
Okay, when he watched the interview, you pause the interview to see his answer, and after you play again.
Yes.
Let's play now, Stu and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Stu, but before you ask me a question, tell me your favorite German word so far.
Ausgezeichnet.
Which means?
I'm probably even saying it wrong. It means excellent.
Say that again.
Ausgezeichnet, something like that. But my other favorite word is potato, Kartoffeln.
Kartoffeln is more easier to say.
Yeah.
But the excellent, it sounds very German with the sound. Yeah. I'm sure it's right. Yeah. You can ask me a question now.
My question to you is, what has been the most life-changing experience that you've had and why?
Okay. It's gonna sound cliche, but I'm gonna speak from my heart. It's that project, Wheel in the Magic Box, something that literally changed my life. And I'll tell you why. Through my life, I always admire people saying, oh, I love waking up and going to work and I don't feel like it's work because I enjoy a lot what I do. Not just work, but think that, you do during like some activities or like the job you do, helping people, something that you do that you feel very proud or you feel very happy. And this, and I strongly believe as well that all of us, we can do different things in life and still be happy and still feel, the biggest joy. But I was asking myself through my life, my goodness, it's something that I came to this world for. 2020, when the world went upside down with the COVID crisis, so many people around the world, they find ways to survive. They find a lot of creativity came along. A lot of people, they found something that was hidden there. And I went for a run in the park one day in March 2020, and this idea came along, and I was like, my goodness, that's something that I'm going to do. And guess what, Stu? I go to bed thinking about the magic box. I wake up every single morning think about the magic box. And everything I do, it's about the show. I go to work thinking about the magic box. Everything is about that. It's a life-changing because it's something for me that, I was trying to find what was something that I could do that would bring me joy every single day. And again, I love my life. Even before I started doing the magic box, I always been very happy, and I always have, see the joy in everything that I always did in my life, and I still do. But it did something that literally, it changed the way I see life, because I just, at the same time, I'm doing something that I like. I'm connecting with people around the globe. I'm letting people connect with other people as well. People, they are sharing their life, their memories, and somehow it's helping other people as well and connecting with other people as well. So I think that's something that's for sure, it's changed my life every single day. I'm a different person as 2 years ago when I started doing the show. My knowledge, I know about different topics that for me was a taboo, or maybe was something that I wasn't aware. And nowadays, for me, it's something very normal, something that I feel more understanding about. So that's something that literally, it's a life-changing. This project, I would say, maybe not just for me, but I'm sure for people as well, that maybe they've been on the show and they connect with other people. Somehow they learn something, or through other guests as well. So I must say that's something that's it meant to be for me for some reason. And I'm so grateful to be able to sit down here and connect with people around the globe and let them be themselves and share their lives. So yeah, it sounds cliche, but I'm just honest. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Beautiful.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, it was good. It was very, very different to any other interview I've done, and it was very spontaneous, and I didn't know what was coming next, so it was great.
Thanks so much for accepting the invitation, and also sorry if you felt emotional and if we're not ready to go, through that. But I think it's beautiful and it's good to be vulnerable and like genuine, and people appreciate that. Thanks so much. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or something that you live by in your best German accent. I'm joking.
No, I'm definitely not going to do a German.
Joking.
I'm known for being terrible at accents. But look, I have a few favorite sayings. One of them is, more will be revealed. Sometimes you don't have everything at your fingertips to know how to deal with a situation. And the saying, more will be revealed, is that maybe I don't have everything I need right now, but if I can just be patient and wait, something will come along and reveal itself. My other favorite saying is, and I'm going to get this wrong, but I'll get the meaning right. Maybe life isn't about becoming something in particular, but maybe it's about unbecoming everything that we were taught. And I think I like that one, because I think a lot of expectation and other people's plans were placed on me. And I actually feel like I took a lot of that stuff on. And the reality is I had to take all that stuff off to try and find out who I really am and what I really want.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in Berlin sometime when I come to visit, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Good luck with your journey there, and yeah, all the best, and you keep in touch. Thanks so much, Stu. It was a pleasure, okay?
You're
Have a
welcome.
good
Thanks a
night.
lot.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.